We are live and we are back, and hopefully, you're all going to join me soon. How is everybody today? Obviously, we're going to work on Figment, which I was going to do last week. Um, and here we go again because I don't know if I'm on. I got to tell you, last night we were sitting watching TV, and I turned to Suzanne and I said, "What day is this?" And she said, "Thursday." I went, "Oh, I may not even have been here otherwise." Hey, Aaron, how you doing? This is one person on. First thing I got to say before we start is I got to have some coffee. That's what I got to say. Slurp. Oh, and yes, one of our another favorite mugs. And I picked this one today because last week when I wasn't on is because we ran out to see a house and we put a contract on it. We're keeping our fingers crossed. This like a bird. Uh, and we're going through all the stuff. The attorneys are talking back and forth, and the realtor is a real good friend. She's working on it, and hopefully by the end of next month, we will be in a house that we own, which will be great. That'll be our fourth house in our lives that we've actually owned. Yay! And it's. I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want to jinx it, but that's where we're headed. And oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, Kelly, Melanie, you're still kind of in shock over the changes in the works for the Pirates. That is one of the notes I have here. Oh, yes. Uh, if those of you who don't know yet, Pirates of the Caribbean is making a change in the auction scene. The redhead will still be there, as will the other women, but they will now be um, pirate ladies with the pirate gentlemen. And they're going to be carrying loot. And the picture I saw shows the redhead. She has, I think she has a sword. She still has the red dress on, if I recall. And actually, at first, Suzanne, I went, oh, no. But then I went, oh, wait a minute. I kind of like that change. I do. I like it. I think it'll be neat. Yeah. Okay, I think we're back. I just had a thing said I was disconnected. Hello, everybody. See, I said that about pirates that I like the change, and it took me right off. I went away for a minute, but it says I'm back on. I hope you're all getting this. And oh, and there was another thing I wanted before I do some painting here, which I'm ready. I got my brushes. Um, but it's on framing paintings. When you have a painting frame that is oil paint or acrylics, like the ones I do here, which are acrylic, you don't want to put glass in front of it. Glass is meant for prints and drawings, but not for paintings. It will the painting can react and actually over time uh, stick to the glass and ruin the painting. So if a framer is telling you to put glass on it, don't listen to them. And these paintings that I do, many, I have paintings that are 50 years old that look like I painted them just yesterday. So don't worry about that. Look into my eyes, trust me. I, I spend more time laughing at myself. Um, so, oh, you missed the old journey into imagination, Denise. I agree. I do too. I like. We saw the new one, and it's okay. But the old one is they'll never bring it back, unfortunately, and it was the best. It never should have gone in the first place. Um, try not to spill stuff here. Excuse me as I shift things around. I don't think I'm ever going to do this right. Every time I do this, I said, "Oh, I've got an hour. I've got everything set up. Everything's fine." And I get down to the last 5 or 10 minutes and I'm racing to get ready. At least I remembered to shave this morning. Come on. Oh, I have a Band-Aid. I have a boo-boo. I My wife said, "What do you do?" I went, "Well, those of you who know me, I have weird accidents. I cut my finger while I was shaving." And no, I was not shaving my hand. Is this when I was, never mind. I didn't cut it that bad. Oh, God. Okay. On that note, um, you can see that I've already done the flesh tones and stuff on Dreamfinder here. And I thought it might be fun to put a little bit of detail into his face, which I will try not to mess up because I'm, again, painting sideways here. And I need some dark brown, which is burnt umber. A little bit of water there. And still there? Okay, now. This is always the fun part when you're doing characters like this, is when you go to put the line work in. And it starts to come to life. I'll put on this part right here. Yay. All right, there we go. All right, eyelid. Top of the eyelid. Line under. Let's see, the top of the eyelid would be right there. And then we've got okay, yeah, right here. All right. I'm going to switch to black here in a minute. Let's put a little bit on his eyebrows here. Sideways. And say oops. Let's see what else do we need there. I think that's good. And then we'll, because I'm just going to do this, and then we'll switch to. Oh, I have to have a paper. I'm out. I'm back. Paper towels. I use paper towels now when I'm painting. I used to use rags all the time, but I put the rags in my lap, which I don't do with the paper towels. And I would, after so many paintings, same thing with murals, I'd have paint all over my pants. Look really sloppy. Now I'm going to switch to some black for his, actually his eyelashes, because his eyes are closed here. And there you go. All right. That's all I'm going to do on that right at the moment. And let's see if, oh, dropped my brush. Come here, brush. Come here, brush. Come here, brush. I have a good sized studio, but to do this, I'm so cramped. And in the knock on wood, the new house we're going to have, I'll have a much bigger studio and a lot of light. There's 3 windows in it. Oh, Julia Roberts and no, I don't like Gina Davis. Julia Roberts would be good as the redhead, maybe in the movie of, as the as the redhead pirate. Ah, but a new lady pirate movie in the works. I think you may be right. They'll come up with something. Figment here is I've mixed some other colors. Oh, and let's see. A week ago, we had the Colby Awards at Wheaton Drama in Wheaton, Illinois, where we do a lot of shows. And one of the plays that had been done last season, the Colby Awards are backstage awards for people who work like scenic designers and everybody else, and assistant directors, stage managers, uh, specific people who have supposedly done a really good job. And I have a bunch of these that it's embarrassing. No, anyway, we had told our son who had directed Elephant Man, my wife and I, she was assistant director with Sean, and I designed the set and did the scenic art on it and everything. And anyway, we told him, don't give us an award this time. Give them to other people in the show that did some really good stuff and everything. And boy, did he surprise us. And it was one of the rare times they had two people come up at the same time to receive an award. So Suzanne and I both got these really nice trophies for assistant directing me for set design. Our son was sneaky. Now what I've got here is obviously a darker shade of this purple. And boy, I'm getting some harsh glare from the light right here. Take that down that way. So we'll give him some shading first. And then are y'all still talking about pirates? For those of you who haven't read the book or haven't heard me talk about it, actually, I loved working on pirates. It was one of our favorite attractions for the. I fell in the water 3 times in Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's a record. Um, so anyway, it was fun. Now, this is to give him obviously some roundness to his features. A little bit more of the darker shade here. Yeah, right there. And we'll come down on the lower jaw and put some light color in. And the craziness that's been going on, by the way, with this house that we're hoping to get, that is all the phone calls back and forth. We had to run to the realtor's office this morning and go over things, and then the attorney called me this afternoon. That would be our attorney on this, and oh God, it's just everything going on. It's crazy. And then we were with our realtor this morning. It's so complicated trying to buy a house. Any of you who saw the movie Under the Tuscan Sun, which Suzanne and I love that movie, she buys a house in Tuscany, the main character, and she was surprised when the woman just handed her the keys, and she goes, without attorneys, without anything going on, she says, here, and he goes, That's it? She goes, yeah, this is Italy. Oh, I should go there. Um, anyway, and it's so, oh, I'm still alive. Great. Okay. We're still really, I need a little bit of white now. I'm gonna do this. I don't want to get paint on my laptop. So now I'm going to take a little bit of white and go in here while this is still wet. Mix it with the skin color on Figment. Do a little bit of highlighting. And I'll go back to the base color again and put it down below and come back up into that. So I can blend it out a little bit. Boy, I'll tell you what, with this new place we're going to get and the new studio I'm going to have, I will be able to work and do this under natural lighting, which will be fantastic. Um, right now, I have to do this video and I have two lamps that have daylight bulbs in them. That's really, you can see how bright. Yeah. Blinding. I look forward to it. So by hopefully September, well, I mean, not September, August, I'll be broadcasting in regular light. Yay! There we go. All right. And we'll come down here on his top of his jowl and highlight that. Hey, why aren't all you people on the road? Maybe some of you are on the road watching this. We're not going anywhere. Staying here. I have, um, we don't like to travel on holiday weekends if we can help it. I'm going to check here in a minute to see if any of you have any questions. Now I'm going to put a little bit of highlight right there. Over there. There we go. A little bit on top note of his head there. There we go. All right. Figment. Oh, we're dinging. No going anywhere for the holiday, just returned from Disney. I hate you. 2 weeks ago. That's very nice, Debbie. I hope you had a great time. Why didn't you take the rest of us? Um, oh, and Larry, you have to work this week? Actually, I do too. I have to work the weekend. I've got um, this painting to get finished, and that, I've already started 2 stretch room paintings of the guy on the dynamite barrel powder keg. So busy. Huh, look at that. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's put a little bit of highlight in his yellow eyes. I'm just using white there and my finger. I do that a lot. And then we will go in here and do the inside of his mouth real quick. A little bit of pink. There we go. A little bit of red and white. Make a little pink. This is my palette. And obviously Obviously, I've already painted white or I mean pink in there before, but now I'm going to put a little bit of shading, and I'm going to actually use a little bit of burnt umber to shade the back part of his tongue as it goes toward his throat. Um, then go back with some pink, come back the other way a little bit, blending. Then we take some white on his tongue, on the front part of his tongue. It's a little too bright, so we get a little bit more pink again and come back on that. There we go. All right, starting to get that realistic look to him. When this dries, his face, I'll come back in with some white and actually dry brush some highlights. It's still wet right now, so I can't do it. And I'll even use my finger to blend it out, and it'll make him pop even more. I'm also going to shade a little bit in his eyes here. Oh, there it is. This is yellow, cadmium yellow with white that's in his eyes. And then I'm going to take, again, a little bit of burnt umber and get that off. Shade under here. When you're doing a cartoon character, well, you see this actually when you're doing a portrait, but it's more pronounced in certainly in a cartoon character. When their head is turned like this at a sort of 3/4 toward you, the eye closest to you is much bigger, and the other eye is beyond the back eye on his left side is thinner and sometimes a little bit shorter than in height than the one in the forehead. This is a fun part. Here we go. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm not going to do that yet. Bear with me. Bear right. Frog left. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of line there. I'll have to fix that. This is what comes from painting sideways. As soon as that dries, I'll fix that little spot. Now I can take the black, and let me see if anybody has a question. You're having a picnic Sunday. Hey, can we come, Kelly? Hope we have fun. I hope you have fun too. It better be. Melanie, you were at Disneyland and came home Tuesday. I hate you people. Everybody's going to Disney. That's all right. We're going in December. Yay. Okay. Now we'll come up here on the top, and the eyebrow, when you do them and his head's turned this way, the line here goes in front of the one in the back. And I'm not going to line his horns yet. I haven't finished painting those. That's just the base color I put on. But I wanted you to be able to see Figment. Ooh, here we go. Painting sideways. I think I told you in another broadcast I can paint with both hands at the same time. Obviously, I can't do detail, but I, especially when I'm painting on a set. But if I'm near a chalkboard or a dry erase board, a big one, I've got two markers or two pieces of chalk, I can draw two Mickeys at the same time. Sometimes they come out looking good, other times, eh. Um, okay, come down there. Now we can put his pupils in. Let's see, this one right there. Comes to life. Yay! Figment. Uh, oh yeah, Figment. I like the hearts, Deborah. Um, having a picnic. Oh, of course I can. You live in Wisconsin, Kelly? Were you having? Hey, our daughter lives in Wisconsin, right near Lake Geneva, and so yeah, we'll probably drop in. Uh, yeah, I like Wisconsin. When I was young, and before I moved away to Florida when I was 13, we used to go to Devil's Lake, Wisconsin. It's the only time my mother would ever go anywhere. All right, look at that. All right, now the back of his jowl here, and a little bit this way. I hear the dinging as people put in comments. It'd be neat if I could actually hear you talking. Of course, you'd all be talking at the same time. Oh wait, and Muskegee, is that right? And lights in my eyes. Waukesha County. Oh, okay, cool. It's a pretty state. Okay, now, oops, let's see if we can get his. A little bit of water. Black is a little too thick there. After I do this, then I go back tomorrow when I'm painting on it, and I'll fix these little mistakes. And you thought I was perfect. No. Uh, okay. At least I don't have a razor in my hand so I can cut myself like I did earlier today. Yes, I did it again, folks. Those of you who have joined recently here. RJ had another goofy mistake. I was shaving and managed to cut my finger on this hand. Right there. Whoops. There. Well, you can see my ring. There's my Mickey Mouse ring they gave me when I left Disney on my little finger. And I have two wedding bands. I was married twice. True. Um, actually, my wife and I renewed our vows on our 25th anniversary. Had a huge wedding. It was fantastic. It was great. Um, and so we gave each other another band to wear. And the second band for the 25th, this one has diamonds in it. Isn't that nice? Um, what was funny, me who you can't shut up, I Suzanne was so beautiful when we did this. Well, she was the first time too, and still is. But she looked so gorgeous coming down the aisle. And when we started saying the vows, she did hers great. Of course, when I did mine, they said nobody could hardly hear me because I was so choked up. I was almost in tears. She just looked so gorgeous. His nostril. There you have it. Um, I didn't bring my timer down. Oh, half an hour's gone already. Look at it. Wow, half an hour. So I'm going to do a little bit more here on Figment. I'll stay on Figment. You want to see Figment. Um, when I do his hat, even though it's black behind there, I'll have highlights on the hat so you'll actually see it. And he does have a blue band on his hat. And I don't know if Sarah's on here today. She posted a thing, I think it was yesterday, with her chickens. Were great pictures and a video. Um, but I just thought it was funny. That's why I brought it up. Oh, Larry Johnson, RJ, I joined late. Did you guys find a house? I'm not telling. Actually, yes. That's what happened last Friday when I was supposed to do this. We have put a contract on a house in Aurora. Which, are you ready for this? Now I put down on my sites that I'm from St. Charles, but I was really born in Aurora, Illinois, which is the second largest city in Illinois. It's about 10 miles, well, it's not even that far, to the downtown. It's 10 miles west of where we are now, Naperville. So it's about 20. It did it to me again. Right? See, I stopped talking because it said to me that I had my connection broke again. This is the other thing. By the house we're going to get, I've got a much bigger studio and I'll have natural light, which will be so much better when I do this, when I do anything, actually. But yes, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We ran out last Friday because we had to go see the house, and people were dashing out to this house to try to get it, and we got lucky, and we were the ones who now are negotiating, doing all the stuff. The attorneys are going back and forth. Our realtors involved, obviously, um, and certain little things need to be fixed on the house. But if all goes well, by the end of July, we should be, yes, signing the contract um, on this fabulous house, which actually was built in 1903. We love old houses. And the whole interior of this house has been redone, uh, and the bathroom's updated and stuff in the kitchen, but it still has retained its original look from when the house was built. Real high baseboards and high ceilings and arched area, a big arched opening between a living room and dining room. We'll actually have a dining room that's big enough for our table again. Um, we bought this beautiful big dining room table that extends out to about 12 or 14 feet, I think it is. This is when we had the big house that we had from in Virginia, and that had a huge dining room. So we're just happy to have another big dining room again. The place we're renting right now, our dining table and stuff are in part of the kitchen that's kind of goofy. But yay! So anyway, yeah, that's awesome. That's what we say. Everybody, keep your fingers crossed. Oh, hi, Lisa. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Just keep your fingers crossed, say prayers, whatever. Just get us in the house. And now that I've freaked out, I'm going to sit back. And for those of you who haven't seen my mug, that's why I have this mug today, because there is the family and friends in their home. We had a very good friend, friends, he and his wife, but Harry Holt was one of the animators on this movie. And he was the one who, he actually worked on the spaghetti scene in the movie. He worked on a lot of Disney movies. And Harry Holt was real tall and good looking man. And he also did the dog fight where Tramp is chasing the other dogs. They get in the fight. And oh, that's good. It's not quite cold yet. That's good too. Anyway, and actually, if you read our first book, Together in a Dream, there's a chapter I talk about here. I think it's in the first book, or it's Remembering the Magic. I can't remember now. But Harry had moved to Orlando with his wife, and she was an artist also. And they were going to set Harry up in doing this really cool thing at Disney World. But he had like a week before everything was ready, so they sent him back to the studio, and Harry had designed some, which were new. They didn't have pop-up heads in the mansion at that time. This was like in 78, around there, 79. And so Harry and I sat in the blacklight room every day for a week and painted those figures for the haunted mansion in the attic and in the cemetery. And Harry hated blacklight. He did not want to work in the blacklight. But boy, did we become good friends, though. And but then after that week was up, he went up to the up in front of Main Street in the Hospitality House. That's what it was called. And so a lot of you know this. You saw him when you went in there. He was sitting at a big animator's board, and he was drawing everybody Disney characters. That was Harry Holt. Cool guy. Okay, now we're going to go and do a little more on Figment here. I'm supposed to be painting. RJ, stop talking. There we go. Finger blending. Do that a lot. And now I'm going to get the darker shade here. And do that. Okay. Come back up here. Yay. All right. All right, then I'll take a little white again and mix it with the main color here. And we'll lighten up his chest area here a little bit. Give it some volume. And see, I start to the far side with the light highlight and then work into the other color and just keep blending as I go along. I don't wipe the brush off or anything. A little bit of that color. Looks like I need a little more now. Like I said last week too, I wish on Facebook they had they have like and love. I wish they had thank you, because when I do finish this and I go down and see what you all are commenting on and stuff. I would like to say thank you, but I have to hit like. I want to keep typing thank you. So when I hit like, it means I thank you so much. Okay. Wait a minute, let me stop and see. That's awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Um, can't wait to see the pics once it's finalized. Yes, I'll be glad to see them too. No, this will be done. This will be done by Monday. And Angie, I don't know if Angie's on here now, is going to pay us a visit because she lives just on the other side. She lives in Rock Island, where I lived for quite a while. And and when I said earlier that so she's going to drive over, her and her husband, to pick up the painting. Kind of silly to ship it across the state. Take a little bit of that there. There we go. All right. Now the fun part. You get to see what the heck is going on with the hands here. All right. Let's get some definition here. Okay. Right about there. His finger to go up that way. And his other fingers will come down here. There. I know it doesn't make any sense yet. I'll be with you in a second here. So fix it. So you go. Oh, now I know what's going on. Right now I'm painting on his arm that's on his left arm. Duh. Yeah. Darker shade. Lighter. Let's get the other finger in here. Until I put the lines in, you really won't be able to tell exactly what's going on, sort of. Somebody was telling us earlier today that they had met somebody and were talking to them about these people want a mural in their house, and which I do murals. I don't do them as often. I really enjoy just staying in my studio now and painting. But anyway, evidently this guy's loves all kinds of animals and everything, from Africa and all kinds of stuff. And I said, well, tell him that I did a painting for Jack Hanna years ago when we worked together. And she goes, oh, he'll love that. But actually, they want a dragon mural. I went, okay. And then it got even better. She said they were talking about doing it in blacklight. I went, okay, that I will do. That'll be fun. So we'll see if they call me. I don't know. Okay, I've gone back to some white here to highlight the top of his fingers. Blend that in. And I'll stop in a second. There's all kinds of dinging going on here. Wait a minute. Um, yeah. You know, I get really intense. I get really intense when I'm painting. You spend a lot of time watching the back of my head, don't you? So, yeah. And so, what does my brother say last week? Oh, your hair is getting thin. I went, thank you for pointing that out. Brothers. Yeah. What do you want? I'm 73. Come on, give me a break. Um, I know that looks goofy, but it won't. Oh, when I said earlier, this house that we are going to get is in Aurora, and even though I lived in St. Charles for 5 years, I did not live in Aurora. But I think when we move to Aurora, I'll change it that I really am from Aurora. I was born in Aurora, and it's a great town. It has a fabulous, huge theater there. That's historic. They do big shows that they bring in. Okay, it's sort of where I want it. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I'll let this dry just a little bit. Then I can do the lines on it so you can see what the heck I did. Um, let me check my time. See, missed call. See, somebody tried calling me right in the middle of this. How dare they? I'm busy. Was it one of you? Oh, anyway. All right, let's go down here and do this here. I'm getting a lot done on Figment. This is great. But again, I will go back in and clean him up some and everything. Not after the broadcast. I'm actually exhausted when I finish this. And when I say Aurora and you go, oh, the movie, the comedy, yes, that was the same Aurora that they talk about. What was the name of that movie? I forgot. But where they are in the car doing one of my all-time favorite Queen songs, Scaramouche. And don't sing, Archie. Um, I'll tell you something that is in my book that I wrote. There was a big dead space there. I wasn't talking, was I? I was into my own little world. Oh, there's people out there. Uh, is that um, my dad served in the Navy in World War II. In fact, he was in a task force that was going to land on Japanese soil, an attack when the war fortunately was ended. And but when he got out in late 45, my brother's 2 years older, and they were trying to find a place to live, to rent, and nobody would rent to him because they had 2 kids. My brother, who was I think 3, and I was a year old, something like, yeah, I was a year old, and and I didn't find this out until after my parents had passed away, and my aunts actually told me this story. I guess my mother was too embarrassed by it. But it's a great story because it turns out that first in St. Charles, Illinois, they have this really neat uh, lodge that's by the swimming pool and the Potawatomi Park. Cool, huh? Um, and for the swimming pools and for the golfing. And because it was wintertime, they were able to stay in the main lodge. Evidently, they were only ones there. We were the only ones there. And my mother actually put me in the fireplace to sleep. Now, if you knew my mother, because I said to my dad once, I'm glad she didn't start a fire. He says, yeah, I know. She probably thought of it a few times. Uh, I survived that. And then I found out that the next place we lived, because they still couldn't find a place, nobody would rent with service people that had kids. It was stupid. Here they come back from the war and they can't get a place to live. And my there used to be a racetrack, exhibition park in Aurora, and it turned out that we lived in one of the horse stalls, and all the horse stalls had been turned into little apartments for all the servicemen and their families. Isn't that sad? And we put up blankets between the stalls to give you some privacy. And my aunts, 2 of my youngest aunts, my dad's sisters, said that they rode the train from St. Charles to Aurora to come visit, and they said they cried all the way back to St. Charles because their older brother and his family were having to live in a horse stall. Decided to put an ad in the paper trying to get a place to live, and she put in the want ads and stuff, and she put a thing that said, young couple with 2 young boys looking for apartment or house to rent will drown kids if necessary. Mm-hmm. Well, the person doing the advertising and stuff, they picked it up, gave it to the city desk. Next thing you know, there's this big, huge, I have a copy of this picture of my mother holding my brother and smiling. It evidently, from what I understand, it made it to the Chicago Trib and into the New York papers, and helped cause Congress to pass a law that said they could not discriminate against families with kids that wanted to rent. And then we finally found a place. Well, actually, it was funny because then my dad had ended up buying a house, but pretty sad. Let me see what. Oh, you're so kind, Kelly. You are so talented. Um, I would love to paint a mural in your house, but yeah, their murals can be expensive and they're time consuming. Oh, Angie, you're here. Hi. Yes, this is for you. You can't see it yet. It's not done. Oh, okay. But another story from RJ. Okay, we're going to go back to a little line work here on Figment so I can get some done on him before we finish this up. But I'm actually exhausted when I finish this. Of course, it's toward the end of the day, And 16:44. Ooh, it's almost an hour. Okay, hurry up. Let's do the hand. Let's do this. Just so you can see what actually is happening here with this hand. There's one finger on his right hand. Top of the next finger. And there's the next finger. So I'm trying not to hold my breath. I've told you all that before. Some of you are new. I'll clean that up afterwards. When I do detail work, I tend to hold my breath, which was pointed out to me by Lee, Tom, and Jane when the four of us were working at the Magic Kingdom uh, on the audio animatronic figures. And we had these big desks. We sat on stools. We had a big work desk, each of us. And we were in a studio trailer behind Small World. But not too long after I started working with the others, I'm painting away. I forgot what I was painting at the time right now. But anyway, I was painting away and I was doing detail work and I'm sitting over there, I'm painting. Suddenly I realized I could tell there was somebody behind me. All three of them were standing right behind me. I went, what? And they said, Lee says, you know you hold your breath when you paint? I do not. Yes, you do. And then then every time I start painting, I am holding my breath. Stupid. We'll get this done and then we'll be done for the day. And I can collapse and have a brandy. No, I'm not going to have a brandy at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No, too early. I wait. If I'm going to have a drink, I wait until late in the evening. I worked for architects when I was going to college. Because at first I thought I wanted to be an architect until I had calculus. But boy, architects' offices, every time they go out to lunch, they all have drinks. And I did that one time and came back and fell asleep on my drawing board. I went, I'm not drinking at lunch. I can't drink early in the day. That's exhausting. There you go. Now you can see what's going on here. And like I say, I will clean him up because I'm painting sideways to the canvas. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it really doesn't quite look like I am, but I'm at an angle here. You can tell by my hand. and it is. Look at that. 5 o'clock. Wow. Right on the nose. I can take my glasses off. I can have a drink. Coffee. For those of you who didn't see it, there we go. And everybody have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Well, thank you, Lisa, and everybody else. Thank you for your wonderful comments. It's always nice to hear that you like what I'm doing. Of course, if you wouldn't be watching if you didn't like it. But anyway, everybody have a safe 4th of July. Have a wonderful 4th of July. And here's to all the dreamers. Keep the Disney dreams in your heart. See you next week. Bye-bye.